Welcome back. Let's get you more breaking updates now coming in. We have accessed more details of what now convicted Tarun Tejpal has said in court. He said that there is nothing further that he can add and that for the past 13 years he has consistently presented his side of the case and the facts before the courts, but they have not found favor. In fact, he also made a mention of his age in the court, going on to say that I'm 62 years old and I consider myself a political victim. Facing charges of sexual assault, Tarun Tejpal told the court that he is a victim, a political victim. And he said that he was a husband and father of 2 daughters and he will challenge this verdict before a higher court. The counsel has also requested that the court take a lenient view while deciding his sentence. This is his appeal. My colleague Rucha is on the broadcast with more details on what happened in court. So Rucha, it's been a 13-year-long legal battle, and in court Tarun Tejpal making a mention of his court and even going on to call himself a political victim.
Well, this is a surprising comment coming after 13 years where Tarun Tejpal calling himself a political victim after being accused of several serious allegations against him of sexual harassment and rape. Now that he is convicted, he stood before the court and while talking to the court, he mentioned his age, mentioning that I have 2 daughters and a family and I am being victimized and I am being a political victim at this point. And despite following up or despite obeying to the court for several years, the decisions are not in my favor. But the previous arguments, if we if we talk about the lower court arguments or the verdict that lower court had given, that was clearly in his favor. But this time, now that he is convicted of the serious charges that were put against him, now that he is calling himself a political victim, a shocking comment coming from his side. And additionally, he also said that he will be challenging this in the higher court. So we are expecting that the matter will go to the Honorable Supreme Court of India very soon. He also said that the legal proceedings are also already underway, and this day at around 2:30 we are expecting the quantum of punishment to be announced. Again, the courtroom will hear the quantum of punishment for how long he will be punished. And overall, if we look at the entire controversy, entire case, how long it took for the victim to get justice in this case, this is definitely a victory of the victim and the government of Goa, which challenged the acquittal of Tarun Tejpal. 2021 was the year when he was acquitted, and after that, after following up the case in the High Court, the Bombay High Court of Goa.
All the details as you are telling us of what Tarun Tejpal told the court, and very rightly so you said it is justice literally after a decade, because the case dates back to 2013. That is when the allegations had first surfaced. My colleague Arunil is also joining us live on the broadcast. Arunil, do stay with us. Let's tell our viewers a little bit about the timeline of the case. Far as the timeline of the case is concerned, viewers, November 2013, that is when Tarun Tejpal was accused, as we are telling you, of sexual assault, and it's literally after a decade that we are seeing this sort of a verdict conviction coming in. November 23rd, 2013, the FIR was filed against Tarun Tejpal. It was on November 30th, 2013. He was arrested, but later 2014 charge sheet was filed. Again, the gap, as you can see, 2014 Supreme Court had granted a bail to Tarun Tejpal. September 2017 is when the trial had commenced. 2021, that is of May 2021, Goa court had acquitted Tarun Tejpal. Goa court and the Goa government itself had challenged that acquittal. They had said that the order is not acceptable, and now we are seeing the conviction which has come in today. So Arunil continues to be live with us. Arunil, we broke down, that long legal fight. 2013 is when the allegation had first surfaced. Today, Tarun Tejpal convicted. Take us through what happens next, because Tarun Tejpal, his lawyers now say they're going to challenge this in a higher court.
that is what Tarun Tejpal in the court has also maintained. He said that he has also basically asked for leniency from the honorable court as well, saying that I am 62, I am a father of 2 daughters. We have presented our evidences as well. We will be challenging it in the higher court. Basically, if we revisit the arguments that took place in the court as well, it was a battle of 2 of the prominent legal minds in the country as well. Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General, who was representing the survivor in the case, also representing the Goa government, and it was Abad Ponda, the senior counsel, who was representing Tarun Tejpal. Abad Ponda has said that they will be challenging the verdict in the higher court. They have also asked for leniency from the honorable court as well. What Tushar Mehta said in the court is also very significant. He has said that the survivor in this case was a daughter of a close friend of Tarun Tejpal. They were working together, and the kind of conviction that has happened now, it basically sets a precedence as well, that when a woman is saying no means no, a man, however influential position he may be holding, he cannot basically force that woman. Tushar Mehta has also reiterated that fact, mentioning in the court, saying that there was no remorse that was being presented by Tarun Tejpal after the incident took place as well. In fact, the 2021 acquittal of Tarun Tejpal also raised some serious eyebrows. In fact, there was a massive outburst that broke out later on, because the survivor in this case was questioned in the 2021 hearing that took place. Her WhatsApps were being made private. Her WhatsApp messages with other colleagues or other friends were also being discussed. While this conviction, several of the key evidences were also being looked into by the investigative officers in the case. Those are WhatsApp chats between the accused in the case, basically the convicted Tarun Tejpal, as well as the survivor in the case. The emails that later on followed between the managing editor of Tehelka as well as between Tarun Tejpal. The several witnesses in the case were also spoken with. The CCTV of the high-profile hotel that is situated in Bambolim, where the incident basically took place, the crime took place, was also studied thoroughly by the investigating officers. And it was a very long legal battle. 13 years it took for the survivor to finally get justice in the case. And it also basically raises major question marks on the legal process that has been followed in the country as well. 13 years also, and there was major embarrassment that followed for the victim or the survivor in the case, because her behavior was also questioned, unfortunately. What was one of the main grounds why Tarun Tejpal was acquitted in 2021 was because the court said that the behavior of the victim or the complainant that time basically did not show any kind of threat. That she did not show that she was terrified later on. She continued regular messages with the accused in the case, and there was no ample medical evidence to prove that Tarun Tejpal was guilty. The Goa government challenged this very aspect, that if at all the victim of a serious rape charge, her behavior can decide a court verdict, then it can set an extremely wrong precedence in the country as well. And Tarun Tejpal, holding an influential position, basically showing no remorse, despite the victim being a daughter of his close friend, despite she working for him being a celebrated journalist, also spoke volume about how the case was going as well. Tarun Tejpal in the court also made a very significant statement, saying that he is a victim of political conspiracy and he is going to approach the higher courts as well.
All right, Arunil, do stay with us, because we were telling you about the latest which is coming in. Obviously, it is justice literally after a decade. 2013 is when those allegations had surfaced. We told you the timeline as well. November 2013 was when Tejpal was accused of sexual assault, and today we are seeing that conviction happening. Bhavtosh is joining us live on the broadcast. Bhavtosh, recap for us what really happened in the court. Just as our colleagues were also telling us, it has been a long fight for justice. 2013, we see the allegations first surfacing, and it is today that we are seeing this sort of a conviction from the High Court.
Adding to what our colleagues have said, Meenakshi, remember at that point of time in 2013, Tarun Tejpal was probably one of the most influential and powerful editors in the country, and his conviction was something that no one would have ever thought. Now, once he was in fact named and booked in this case, the FIR was filed in this case. the question was whether he would be arrested or not. And there were allegations against him, very serious allegations against him. And it took Goa police a lot of time to arrest him. Then the charge sheet was filed, and it took nearly 8 years for the Goa court to give the order. And it was the order of the Goa court which virtually shocked everyone, because the entire onus to prove the guilt was on the not on the accused, but to prove the guilt was on the victim, and there was virtually victim shaming by the court. Now, the court's order was something that shocked everyone, and Tushar Mehta was representing the state. In his arguments, it said that it was as if the victim was put on trial. Her entire life was something that was questioned by the trial court, whether she used to drink, smoke, or what was her past relationship, or whether she quote unquote had consensual sex. So these are the points that were raised by the trial court, and more or less the trial court agreed everything with the defense counsel. The hearing, in fact, in this case went in June for at least 5 to 6 times, and Tushar Mehta said that when the victim in this case went on to on the trial, she was very brave, and she in fact stuck to her statement, and she in fact should be appreciated the fact that despite the trial court and defense counsel questioning her, she stuck to her statement, and she reiterated exactly what she had said in the before the police and later before the judicial magistrate. Now we have to wait and see what would be the order of the Bombay High Court, but a landmark verdict by the Bombay High Court, which has now convicted Tarun Tejpal. The sentence could be anywhere between 10 years to life. The court has also said that the prosecution in the case should immediately ask the quantum of the sentence. The defense counsel has said that he is an aged person, but the offense that he has committed, both as a senior manager, but also as an editor, had shocked the country 13 years back, and it should be recalled by everyone. It should be remembered by everyone, because this case has been forgotten, and people should remember what Tarun Tejpal had done there.
And we have obviously more breaking news coming in. That is Tejpal's, the victim's family also has spoken to Times Now. We have those exclusive excerpts as well. Bhavtosh, do stay with us, viewers. We'll also be, bringing in the CCTV footage as we are showing you on the screens. But before that, we have a big breaking news coming in for you. Okay, before that, let's take our viewers through the CCTV footage. This is again the case as it was, the CCTV footage which had surfaced earlier when the allegations also had come to the fore. Now, this was a CCTV footage. Again, the victim had alleged that the assault had taken place in the lift. The lift takes 120 seconds to travel to the first floor, and then you see Mr. Tejpal entering the lift with the victim. Tejpal then was confronted in the lift, and this really, was the genesis of the entire controversy. The lift, again, the allegations which had come in then, that in those 120 or so seconds when the lift was traveling, to the higher floors, 24 seconds or so, that is when the assault had also taken place. Now, years on, decade on, literally we are seeing justice today. What has happened is the latest that Times Now has spoken to the victim's family. Victim's family has spoken out. It's the first reaction to this particular conviction. They are saying that it's a delayed step toward justice, but they do welcome, obviously, the verdict which has come in. The victim's family has said that they see the verdict as a long-awaited step towards justice. The family has described the trial as an extremely difficult phase and also criticized the earlier acquittal which had happened far as the trial court is concerned. They had called that verdict deeply flawed, also maintaining that their primary concern throughout the case had been the survivor's mental well-being. Priyank joining us live on the broadcast. Priyank, this is a statement of the victim's family. The victim's family has spoken to Times Now. They are welcoming the verdict, calling it the first step towards a long-awaited justice.
Yes, Meenakshi, and the family had trust in the Times Now reportage for the last 14 years. We have been in continuous touch with them. That's why they have told us the detail of the trauma which they have gone through in the last 14 years. What they feel that the manner in which the lower court came up with that 563-page verdict, which was in favor of Tarun Tejpal, was not giving justice to the victim. They are also maintaining that the victim initially felt that, Tejpal was sent to jail and he has faced what he had to. But later in the stage, when the Goa police and the Goa state government pursued this case further, Meenakshi, and the kind of non-remorse which was seen on the face of Tarun Tejpal, the kind of arrogance which was seen on the Tarun Tejpal, which can still be seen on the TV screen while our colleague Rucha had confronted Tejpal, was the thing which triggered the family further. They wanted to go further and continue with the legal battle which the Goa state government wanted to pursue in this particular case. That's why the family kept on pursuing this particular matter. They are happy, although, let me tell you to our viewers that the family is happy with the kind of statement which has been made before the Honorable High Court, where the court has convicted Tarun Tejpal, although the quantum of sentence is yet to be decided. But the manner in which the arrogance kept on coming on the face and the behavior of the lawyer and Tarun Tejpal while the family used to go to the court, because we are talking about very close family members, Meenakshi, who had gone to the court to depose themselves. They were called to depose, which was the recording of their statement. They were forced to believe that it was the victim which was at fault. They were forced to believe that Tarun Tejpal was not guilty. They were forced to believe that every conduct which was done by Tarun Tejpal and the lower court order was the one which was the real fact, which was the truth, and that is the final, outcome of this particular case.
Yeah.
But the family kept
So that
on
is
pursuing
obviously
it.
the statement coming in from the side of the family, justice happening literally after a decade, family welcoming it, calling it, or they say that they see the verdict as a long-awaited step towards justice. Thank you, Priyank, Pavtosh, and Rucha, also Arunil, for joining us with all the updates related to this big story. Tarun Tejpal convicted, that is a big story. We'll be tracking it through the course of the day. As of now, we're slipping into a short commercial break.